welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and I am here today to interview one of our Hallmark actors. And I was very impressed with our man Logan from Christmas Scavenger Hunt. So we're talking with actor Jon Welch today. And Jon, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This is great. Thank you.
Yeah. So what we like to do with our guests is we like to give you a chance to introduce yourself and to tell us what inspired you to become an actor.
As Rachel mentioned, my name is Jon Welch. I'm Canadian. I now live in Toronto. I'm originally from Ottawa, Ontario, in Canada, which FYI is the capital of Canada, not Toronto, for anyone south of the border who's not aware of that. I recently moved here a few years ago, trying to, take my career to the next level. And I've been settled here for a few years, and I really love it. What inspired me to become an actor? I mean, first, probably my parents. My dad's a stage actor, or pretty much retired now. He's 80 years old, but he's been an actor his whole life. And my mom used to be as well. They did theater, and they met on stage doing a play in Ottawa. And so it's really always kind of been in my blood, I guess, or around me. And so they really inspired me to pursue that career. My dad, I always say, was such a good stage actor. I kind of didn't want to do stage because I feel that his shoes were just always too big to fill, right? Mm-hmm. So I kind of gravitated towards more of on-camera work as far as film and TV and, every other medium there is. So I still, to this day, do some corporate work. I'll do commercial work. I do, voiceover, public service announcements, but I try to focus more on film and TV at the moment, if I can get it. So, as you know, it's a competitive environment, especially in Toronto here. But it's great fun, and I welcome the opportunity and the challenge every day.
Mm-hmm. Were they kind of nervous about you getting into the acting field, or because they had experienced it, or?
Well, my mom always says now, she says, I never would have dreamt of stopping you because I know you and how focused and goal-oriented you are. When you have something in your mind, you want to accomplish it. So even though she probably wanted to deter me from pursuing it because she knows how tough a world and competitive it really is, she knew it would be like in vain to try that because I'm kind of stubborn in that sense where if, I have something set, I want to accomplish it and finish it. So, my dad, I mean, he's always been supportive, and my mom really as well, because I mean, they'd be kind of hypocritical not to, right? I mean, that's what they used to do. They know the field, and they've been super supportive. So I really appreciate all that because it's important to have a support system as an actor.
Mm-hmm. So was there a strong theater scene in Ottawa that your dad worked in?
You know what? I mean, sort of, but it's kind of a niche market in the sense that it's really focused more so on corporate stuff. Because Ottawa is the capital. Pretty much every worker there needs to be bilingual if you're working for the government. So you need to be able to speak French. And my mom is French Canadian, so I'm French Canadian. It's my mother tongue, and I'm perfectly bilingual. So what they often want to do is cast one actor to speak both languages, as opposed to have to cast, one francophone, one anglophone actor. And they'll just say, no, let's just get one actor and do it, twice. So yeah, for corporate videos, it's really good. For movies of the week as well. So Hallmark or otherwise, there's a lot of MOWs being shot in and around Ottawa. So that's a pretty, healthy genre for the market.
Your dad was able to, there's enough of a scene there in Ottawa that he was able to work as a stage actor?
Yeah, he was. I mean, he did a lot of, there's this really big venue in Ottawa called the NAC. It's short for National Arts Center. So they showcase a lot of Shakespeare and, pretty much everything under the sun is shown there. So he was lucky enough and good enough, I guess, when he was younger to be able to do a lot of theater from there. There's the Upper Canada Playhouse. There's the Ottawa Little Theater. There's a lot of venues, and there's once a year there's the Fringe Festival as well. which showcases a lot of new talent and veteran talent as well. So there's quite a lot of stage festivals in Ottawa, which is good for anyone who does theater, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, excuse me, he's also or he used to be a farmer. He had an apple orchard, so he ran that pretty much on his own. 40-acre apple orchard, pruning the trees, mowing the grass, picking the apples, and we had a little stand there by the road. And so in the sense that he did theater full time, this is kind of a seasonal job that he had as well, which occupies 3 months of the year. So I guess it kind of supplements any income if there are some dry periods or downtimes. So yeah, he did that pretty much his whole life until he sold the orchard a few years ago. So now he's comfortably retired.
That's great. That's great. Did you perform a lot as a child, or was it older? Or?
I mean, yeah, I was always kind of extroverted and out there, kind of like, I like to say my first real acting experience was in Sudbury, Ontario, which is home of the Big Nickel, because it used to be a mining town. But my mom was there back in the late 80s I guess she was teaching French. And she decided to put on a play of the Little Red Riding Hood. And I, of course, jumped on the chance to play a character. And I decided, for whatever reason, to play the wolf hunter. And yeah, it was really funny because I had this huge super soaker gun, and I just jumped on the table on stage, and just started like screaming, and I may have dropped an F-bomb or two. I don't remember, but all I know is I had the entire audience in stitches laughing hysterically. And I think, a dream was born on that day. And I may have had an epiphany, and it was like, wow, I can do this. Wow, this is fun. I can make people laugh, and this is great. So yeah, I think that was my first official acting experience. But
it inspired your early action role.
Yeah, exactly, right? I was prepping for my action scenes, exactly. But I mean, even before then, like at Christmas time, I'd put on these like mock kind of dance choreographed sequences with my cousin for, I guess, God, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe I'm telling you this right now, but the New Kids, as you may or may not remember, were really popular in the 80s, right?
Oh, yes.
And I was a kid, so I mean, I was like, oh, this is great. So I put on this little show where like my cousin was playing the air keyboard, and I was dancing like the New Kids with like the ripped jeans and like boy on the t-shirt, or boy. I might have written it wrong. I probably wrote oi instead of boy. It was. My mom still has pictures to this day that she breaks out during Christmas. And I'm like, put those damn pictures away.
I think you could have a viral hit on your hand there with that.
God.
I mean,
yeah. Thank God there was no internet back then. Oh my God, it was social media. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. I just pray those pictures don't ever see the light of day. Let's see what happens.
You're holding out on us.
Yeah, right?
Okay. It'll be a big hit. That's so funny.
It's pretty funny. So yeah, no, I was always kind of like outgoing and trying to put on a show for people. So
do you remember when you got your first on-camera role, like the very first time?
Oh, geez. First on-camera role. Let me go back. I'd have to check my IMDb, but I think it was probably a short film that I'd gone to audition for, and I completely blew it. Like, for whatever reason, it's just nothing came out right. It was forced. I couldn't memorize the lines right. I couldn't get them out right, and I'd forgotten my sunglasses. So on the drive back home, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go back to get my sunglasses, but here's an opportunity. Why don't I just be straight with the director and tell her, listen, this is my first audition. I forgot my glasses, but if you have the time, would you just let me, audition again? And she was very, very polite, very courteous, super nice. She's like, yeah, of course, for sure. Everyone screws up for auditions. That's totally fine. So I did it again. I took my time. I felt I was more grounded. And yeah, luck has it that I got cast in that role. And it was to play, I guess, oddly enough, because this was such a low budget, I had 3 roles to play in this film. So one of which was like this soccer player who just happened to kick the soccer ball through an open window of a gangster's house. And
Oh my gosh.
yeah, hilarity and craziness ensues. And so aside from that, I played a delivery guy who may or may not be delivering a bomb to this same gangster's house. And
Did you have like different wigs on, or were you just looking the same?
Yeah, so for the soccer player, it was just like a toque or a beanie, and for the delivery guy, it was shot from the back, so you couldn't see my face.
Okay.
And so for my last character, I played the, I guess, a henchman, or AKA slash an assassin, maybe. So I'm basically to confirm that this person has been dealt with, and it's like a quick scene. I'm like on my cell phone. I'm like, the package has been delivered, sir. Anything else? And it's like I walk off screen and that's it. And so yeah, that was my first on-screen experience. I wish it was more glamorous and a heftier role, but yeah, no, that was
That's pretty good. I mean, most people's first role is like person at the bar number 5 or whatever. And so to have 3 roles in your first, not too shabby.
And you know what? I just said that and I realized, well, that's my first on-screen speaking role. And I think I may or may not have probably done some background work before that, but I figured this would be a better story.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I just love that the whole idea of like basically everybody having sort of that thing you do moment, you know, where you're like, I can't believe I actually got cast. Like, oh, wow.
Right?
You know, I'm freaking out.
I know. I was so happy. When they called me, I was like ecstatic. And the smile was just through the roof. And my mom was super happy for me because I was probably living at her place at the time. So yeah, no, it was definitely a nice moment. And you know, people who get cast like that, I mean, you need to cherish those moments because you never know the next time you'll be cast. And for a lot of actors, they're far and in between. So you need to cherish those highs and just cherish the moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that's true with anything in life.
Absolutely.
Those moments of victory, of success.
I know, right? As little as they are, because there's so much like rejection and no's in this business that when you hear the yes, like, hey, milk it for all it's worth and enjoy your time and your moment, right? So.
Well, and there's so much that's completely out of our control in whatever field you're in that you just have to be grateful that for people that are willing to take a little bit of a chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I mean, in any field or work, I mean, you just it's a nice motto to have in life, just to be positive and just to appreciate things and just because I try to keep an even keel about things, but like sometimes
it's good to have a little freak out moment every now and then. Like,
it's good to have that little freak out for sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, that's great. So how did you end up getting involved with the Christmas Scavenger Hunt?
So that's an interesting story. I don't believe, and I don't know if I should be saying this recorded, but I don't recall having actually auditioned specifically for this Christmas movie. Now I had self-taped a few times for other for other MOW or Hallmark Christmas films, where the character was very similar. It's that typical kind of wrong boyfriend, wrong guy from the city, or maybe not from the city, but kind of the same.
Yeah, the bad man of business, we like to call him.
What's that?
The bad man of business.
Bad man of business. I like that. Yeah, exactly. So I guess I'd maybe done something right in the eyes of producers from that previous film, and so I got the call or email from an agent saying, "Hey, they want to cast you in this wrong guy role for a Christmas movie." And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And I was pretty happy about it because I never worked on a Hallmark film before, so this was a first for me.
Was it filmed in Ontario, in Toronto area?
Actually, it was filmed around Ottawa and in this small community called Almont, Ontario.
Oh.
Yeah, which I believe maybe the home of basketball. So James Naismith.
Oh, really?
He's this Canadian, and Canadians invented basketball, FYI. And he was from Almont, Ontario. So I think it was my first time staying there for any prolonged periods of times. Like I've driven through there a few times, but it's a nice, cute little quaint village or town.
Another thing to have in Canada is another feather on their cap. Credit for everything.
I know, right? I know Canadians always like to drop like, hey, we invented this, yeah, we invented that. So it's like part of our role is to educate as well.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. They are the good folks over at Glamour Jewelry Box. And right now you can save $5 on your first month subscription. Go to glamourjewelrybox.com and use offer code Hallmarkies during checkout. And what Glamour Jewelry Box does is every month they will send you a bracelet, a necklace, and a pair of earrings. And they try to be on trend, but not like weird on trend. And so if you want to finish off that holiday ensemble, the holiday outfit with like the perfect accessories, this is such a fun way to have something that is unique, that's affordable, and that not everybody is going to have at your get-togethers and your parties, things like that. Also makes a wonderful gift, because who doesn't like getting something fun in the mail every month? So definitely check it out. Save $5 on your first month subscription. You go to glamourjewelrybox.com, use offer code Hallmarkies during checkout.
But no, it was actually really, really interesting because one of the shoots was in this really kind of turn of the century Victorian style hotel. And as soon as I walked in, I got the heebie-jeebies. Like there was these really kind of The Shining vibe from the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen that film.
Yes.
Long
hallways that are a little.
Yep. Yeah, the decor was just so like freaky. Anyway, I just got I got the chills. And our first scene we start shooting, all the Christmas. It's the first scene you see me in the film. It's like within the first 5 minutes, and this whole restaurant is like decked out with like wreaths and Christmas decorations, Christmas trees. As soon as we start shooting the scene, all the decorations start falling randomly. Not all of a sudden at the same time, but like every few seconds or every few minutes, something else would fall. And I'm like looking around going, what the hell is going on?
Am I on the right channel here? What's going on?
Right? Is this like a ghost story? Like, what is going on here? So, and I noticed that the break room was upstairs, but none of the crew were there, and everyone was hanging out on the stairs. And I'm thinking, what? Why is no one in the green room or the break room upstairs? So no one's really saying anything. I guess they knew the history of the hotel. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna go upstairs. So me and Kim, I guess the lead of the movie, we go up there and no one's there. And I walk in the room. Oh, before I walk in the room, while I'm walking up the stairs, I'm getting these chills, random like cold spots. And as soon as I get to the second level, walking down the hall, I'm getting these random cold spots again. Walk into the break room, see this really old style mirror, kind of straight out of like Narnia and the wardrobe. I don't know if that movie says anything, but anyway, so there's this like weird figure at the top of the mirror. It's like this Victorian style mirror. And as soon as I walk in, I just feel this like rush of cold, like almost go through me. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, like what is this? A portal to the supernatural?
Like I need my ectoblaster here. This is
right? Exactly. Who are you gonna call? Jesus Christ. So anyway, I finally I'm like, I gotta go, Kim. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I just leave the room. I'm like, I can't be here right now. Like this.
What did she say? Was she freaking out too?
No, she was like wondering, why is he leaving? We just started talking. And so I go down and I talk to the crew and they're like, oh yeah, no, that's haunted. We're not going there. I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? So anyway, I got home and I was like, this can't just be me. Obviously someone mentioned that. I Googled the hotel and lo and behold, it's got a history of hauntings. These expert supernatural guys had gone there and run their tests, and it turns out that hotel was and may still be haunted. So that was a kind of cool experience. Yep. So go to Almont, everyone.
It's obvious. They need to film A Christmas Carol at this hotel.
Oh my God, that'd be an amazing idea.
Right?
That would be really good.
It could be like the most legit Christmas Carol ever.
That would be such a dark twist on life. Christmas Day. Who needs special effects? No. We got three of those here.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Take
would
the
be
Marleys there.
Yeah.
Make it happen, someone.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
A gold mine waiting right there.
Yep, absolutely. I'd watch
Wow.
that.
Now I respect Christmas Scavenger Hunt even more than I already did, because you faced off with the supernatural and I had no idea.
And it's funny because one of the producers was shooting from his own camera, or it looked like he was shooting a documentary style behind the scenes type of thing. And this is right after, like, I'm getting the sense that we're not alone. Yeah. And I'm asking him, I'm like, are you shooting like a behind the scenes to showcase the history of the hotel at all? He's like, oh, no. This is just for the website. This has nothing to do with that. So I'm thinking, well, maybe you should have a closer look at that footage, because something else is happening right now. So,
I'm going to be looking at that movie with a different eye now.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
I know.
That's really funny.
You're not expecting.
Yeah. So the movie, it starts out with Logan, and you always know it's a bad sign when they're having the dinner, and he's just staring at his phone the whole time. And then he gives her this locket and he doesn't change the picture.
Yeah.
Which was hilarious.
I know. I was like, oh, am I actually going to have to do this? Oh boy. FYI, I would never do this to any girlfriend or fiance. I think I'd be good enough to put in a real picture of us.
Yeah. But, you'd put in
it slipped his mind. I mean,
a real picture, or get a different locket. Like, why would you do that? If you, I mean, just get a regular necklace, like, where you don't need a picture. That was so funny to me. And, it's always you're like, oh, this guy's not going to be long for this, for this world here. It's not a good start. And, I mean, it's classic bad man of business, but.
Well, I mean, as far as the phone goes, just to defend Logan for a little bit here, I think we live in a day and age where people are on their phones way too often.
Yeah.
But they're on their phones not for business. I mean, they're on their phones for recreational purposes. So they're just, on social media, checking out pictures. At least Logan was working, right? So
that's true.
There was a legitimate reason for him to be. But time and place for everything.
Yeah, so. I always feel bad for these bad men of business, though, because they've started this relationship understanding that the female is basically the same as them. So, and then all of a sudden they go back to their hometown and realize that they've become a bad lady of business.
Right.
They need to be reformed. And so they're not being a terrible person. They're being exactly the person that was agreed upon when they started the relationship. So you can't feel that bad, that mad at them, because it's what
who they are.
Yeah,
it's who they are. It's who they should be. It's the real person is coming out. And who am I? Who is Logan to prevent her from,
And I agree with what you're saying. I lost my phone this last week, and it was a nightmare. So I didn't have a phone for like 4 days. And it was it was the worst, because because this isn't my only podcast. I have another podcast plus a part-time work. Freelancers, that's just what you do. You do a little bit of everything.
Phone for everything.
And I have all the information on my computer, but it's so much more of a struggle because I don't get the notifications on my laptop like I do on my phone. So I would miss emails and be like, word, I would have gotten it right away on my phone. And you just constantly have to check out 6 different, because I got to check my calendar. I got to check my, my emails. I got to checking all these different sites.
The calendar to me is the biggest one. It's because everything is through my calendar, and the places, the addresses, the times. Same. And without that, I don't have a calendar on my laptop either. It's I don't know where, when
I can look up Google Calendar on my laptop, but it's just having all the notifications and having all of the stuff it's so when I didn't have my phone, I was so unorganized and just so it caused me legit anxiety.
I know.
I was
Yeah, no, you get stressed out. Like it literally, like it's unhealthy to just be stressed because of it. I mean, but we're just so accustomed, and we're just so ingrained to be using it every single day, every single minute. I mean, I don't know about minute, but maybe almost. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really funny to me too, because the way you always have in Hallmark movies, and I kind of laugh at the tropes of Hallmark movies, but I love the tropes. They're fun to me.
Yeah.
But you always have the bad man of business, and then the contrast to the bad man of business is the small town man with many jobs.
Of course, the jack of all trades, the blue collar dude.
Yeah, and I mean that's totally what this Kevin McGarry character was. Like like the first beginning of the movie, he's like helping someone with their car, and then like he's working at this mill and the museum.
He's such a good Samaritan, and you can't help but not love the guy. It's like, geez, even I'm like crushing on him. Like, man, how do you do that? Like, I can't do that. Yeah. But he's a really nice guy though. Even off camera, like on set, he was just like nothing but polite and courteous, and invited me to lunch all the time. So he was really. Yeah, he's a stand-up guy, like for real. Like,
I'm sure he is. The most blue eyes I've ever seen of any human.
You know what? Yes, but I've been streaming Peaky Blinders recently, and Cillian Murphy's got like that guy's got like some
blue eyes.
I was gonna say penetrating blue eyes. Can I say that on this podcast? Yeah, but he's got some striking
blue eyes.
But but that's a great show too. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't. I've heard the good things.
It's really good. Really good.
But anyway, and so that always makes me laugh with the man with many jobs. Like Paul Green is the king of his movies. He almost always has like 7 jobs.
Right, I know, but it's like you have to have that character to contrast, I guess, the bad man of business, as you say. So it's a nice duality going on there. So it's cool.
This scavenger hunt, first of all, it seems a little sketchy to me that the Tom Arnold, that his 2 daughters are 2 of the participants. That's a little, because
I think there's a conflict of interest there a little bit. But, I guess there's some rule bending. I guess in small towns, there's maybe a lack of participants to
also broaden
the rules. Perhaps I don't know.
You can't really fault him though, because they made $50,000 on this thing. How did that happen?
Good. Yeah, that's pretty good for a mill town. Like, geez, investing in this like scavenger hunt. That's crazy.
Also, we died laughing. Just the whole idea that like everybody is desperate to save the mill museum, like that, because they always have these save the store, save the farm, save the whatever. But the mill museum was a new one. But
it's an iconic monument.
Rachel. It is.
People
love that mill.
People flock to the museum on a daily.
There was a whole additional wing. They said at one point.
Forget the haunted hotel. People go to that mill. People go to that museum.
Maybe that's why it's so beloved. Is that it is all about how it's haunted. The haunted mill.
I think that would be the sequel to Christmas Scavenger Hunt. I think they're going to introduce the haunted element to the mill.
Maybe we can work that into our story, because where Logan won me over is I couldn't believe that he was left at the airport and completely forgotten. I'm like,
no, I'm like, when is he arriving?
He's like, he just was left. I guess he had to get an Uber or something like that, or
Uber X. I don't know.
And
Uber
she's like, he says, "Didn't you get my itinerary that I sent?" And she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't have my phone all day." I'm like,
I can relate. Like, I totally get that.
That was so funny to me. I'm like, poor Logan is just stuck at the airport, completely forgotten by his girlfriend.
The things we do for love.
I mean, if that's not a bad man of business reformed, I don't know what is. Getting left at the airport.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to have him not have any redeeming qualities, because I mean, I guess he was written in a sense, obviously, to be the antagonist and to be, for lack of a better word, the bad guy or the
Yeah.
the bad role.
Right.
So I wanted to make him not so cliche in a sense that it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's obviously, the bad boyfriend who's not good to her. I still wanted to make him real and like, well, he
Yeah.
could still be, a good boyfriend to her, but they're just not meant to be together, and they're
Yeah.
not, they're not compatible anymore. So that's to me more realistic, and you
Yeah.
see that all the time where just people
Sure.
grow apart, and they were fine together at one point, and they weren't necessarily bad. It's just that's what their job was, and people respected that and understood that and got that, right? So,
Well, I
but I'm
think,
glad I'm glad you found some kind
yeah.
of goodness to
No, I
to Logan.
did.
Yeah,
And I think being left at the airport was a humbling moment for him.
for sure.
I think
Yeah,
it really was.
around Christmas time, alone in
Ah,
and this small town that you've never been to in a random airport. I mean, that's
yeah.
gotta suck, right? That can't be good
Huge.
for
That
anyone.
would be the worst.
That would be pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So also, do you think that Logan has never made cookies in his life before?
That was a funny scene. So probably because I don't believe I have. So the part where I grabbed the spatula to whisk away the batter was pretty funny. Yeah, to say
Yeah.
the least. Kim was laughing hysterically because it's written where he's beating it too fast, and then spills some on his tie.
Yeah.
But I'm going at it like 100 miles an hour.
It was
turning
like he
it
had
around,
never seen butter
turning.
before. It made
Pardon me?
it was like he had never seen butter in his life.
Yeah, pretty much. He probably had someone else cook for him, or we'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super versed as a baker, so for the record.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
can cook anything.
Oh
No,
yeah.
I'm a pretty good cook though. As far as baking goes though, I'm not really a baker. I mean, I'm sure that is apparent after watching that scene. It's pretty obvious, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
Hopefully
was
it
funny
worked
to
out.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because this whole scavenger hunt, we're joking. We're like, these people should never be on The Amazing Race. Is the most leisurely scavenger hunt. Like,
I know. It's
stop.
so chill. And it's like the text messages are always sent at the exact perfect time too, right? So it's like, okay, what's next? Here's the next clue. But it would kind of be fun to participate in a scavenger hunt like that, though,
Well,
don't you think? Wouldn't you want to do that?
yes. Oh, are you kidding me? Get to participate
Right?
in a Christmas themed scavenger hunt? But
That'd be amazing.
I could have cleared this thing in like 2 hours. Easy.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I guess if you're from that town and you know kind of like where everything is and what the markings are. But are you good with riddles though, I guess is the question.
Yeah, I mean that is true. The riddles. But
You know.
it's like they have the Christmas tree delivery to the nursing home, and then there was you had to make a gingerbread house, and then you had to do an act of service.
Yeah, those are kind of vague of tasks, right? It's like, well, okay, I can bring this log to my neighbor's fire, and that counts.
Yeah.
I mean, to each their own, right?
You could fudge it for sure.
You want. Yeah, you could.
And
but you need to take a documented picture proof of the task that you did as well, though. So you can't cut too many corners in that sense, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I figure this Kevin McGarry character, he must have the White House on his line, because he got that soldier.
That what?
That soldier returning his active service.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
I'm thinking, what kind of who is your dad? Is he like head chief? Like, I don't know. Like,
I'm telling you, he's got like the Pentagon and stuff like on dial up.
I know. I was watching that going, wow, bravo. Bravo. I tip my hat to you, sir, because that is an impressive feat. But yeah, that was cute though. And the kid is super happy that his mom's back, and it's like, aw.
Yeah.
So that was
so cute.
Really, that was a cute scene. Yeah.
Well, it was also a very interesting, because usually in these movies, everything has to be kind of super obviously super Christmassy, but like even the food. And so the fact that she was eating chili and a strawberry milkshake, we were kind of like, what? That's not, you're not allowed to eat that.
Can't eat that. That's not vegan.
That's like a summer food. It's like,
Yeah,
know.
that's true though, right? Yeah, you don't want to be eating too many ice cream cones when you're.
Well,
It's
it
like the
needed
middle
to
of
be.
January in
Yeah,
Canada.
it needed
Yeah.
to be a peppermint or pumpkin
Oh, that sounds
milkshake.
delicious.
That's
That sounds
holiday.
good. That would have been more apropos. Definitely. Definitely more appropriate.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pumpkin spice. I haven't had any food today. I'm getting
You're gonna get hungry.
You're getting me hungry right now.
Yeah.
Sounds really delicious. But any cold kind of shake. I mean, you want something warm though, right?
Yeah,
During
that's
Christmas
true.
holidays?
Yeah.
Like maybe like I don't know, like some kind of cider, maybe like some heated cider with some cinnamon sticks,
hot cocoa,
maybe some eggnog, maybe a bit of vodka. I don't know, something to keep you warm.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
Eggnog, hot cocoa,
yes,
are definitely the drinks of choice for
the go-to Christmas beverages.
Yeah,
I like
right.
that. Yep.
But anyway, we really enjoyed it. We had a ton of fun talking about the movie, and I really did like the breakup. I thought it was very sweet, and when she's like, go and spend time with your sister or whatever, and I liked it. I thought it was very well done.
It was what all breakups should be.
Yeah.
if only all breakups were that sweet and that smooth, and you know. But it was a nice way to do it, because I mean, I think I'll tell you the one thing: the way it was written originally was a mutual breakup, and me and Kim are looking at each other like, that's not how breakups usually end up. Like, there's always one breaker upper and one breaker uppy, right? So we kind of tweaked it in the sense where it's like more her breaking up with me, which makes more sense because, she's fallen back in love with her high school sweetheart. And, I'm okay with it because I want to get back to the city, which is where I'm used to being, and I don't want to stand in her way. So it was a really lovely kind of, it was a sweet breakup. Yeah,
it was really good.
Thank you.
We'd like to take a second to thank our second sponsor for this episode of the podcast. They are at Skylight Frame, and right now you can get $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame, and you go to skylightframe.com. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME, and you enter code Hallmark, not Hallmarkies, just Hallmark, and you can get $10 off. And what this is really neat about is that it's such an easy way to display photos in a new format, because we've had digital frames for a long time, but this is a completely digital experience. You don't have to have your frame connected to the computer at all. People can email photos right directly to your frame. So what could be so fun about this is you could be looking at your frame and surprise photo from a member of your family could just pop up. And I think that's such a delightful idea. You think of all the pictures that we take on Instagram and on our phones, and if you could just one click send that directly to the frame of a member of your family, that would just be such a novel, fun concept, I think. They are very attractive. It's a black frame with a white mat. It looks just like any other picture frame, so it doesn't look like a digital frame that we've seen before. It has 100% satisfaction guarantee. You'll really enjoy it, and I think it would just make such a nice gift, especially if you think of somebody like a grandma or somebody that's really important to the whole family, and that everybody could be sending photos to the frame. It has a touch screen. It's just easy to use, and you can save $10 off your purchase of a Skylight Frame. You go to skylightframe.com, enter code Hallmark. That's Skylight Frame, SKYLIGHTFRAME.com, code Hallmark. So we're going to do something a little bit different that I don't typically do on the podcast, but I think it would be fun to let's pitch what we think would be the ideal if we're going to have a Christmas Scavenger Hunt 2 Logan's redemption. Logan's
return.
Okay.
Logan's
Logan's return. So, okay, what would be the perfect what's the next phase where Logan falls in love and becomes Mr. Christmas, just in love with Christmas? So
well, I'm glad you asked. So no, I've actually not thought of this, and I have no clue. But how about this? So let me pitch something here. So Logan's back in the city.
Uh-huh.
He's all alone. It's Christmas Eve, and he decides to go out for some eggnog, perhaps at the local coffee shop.
Good.
And he bumps into his high school flame from his high school, who's also
brilliant,
right? And I guess sparks fly, and the rest is history. So,
well, that's a good start. That's a good start. But let's say that the high school girlfriend is there organizing a parade, Christmas parade,
like
and so this because I've long said, and people probably tired of me saying this, but in Hallmark movies, you only are a good person in the city if you are running a parade or you are a window designer. Those are the two allowed careers. So, but in order to put on the parade and for it to be successful, they have to. There's a city version of the scavenger hunt. Complete, and they won't get the funding for the parade.
Right.
In order to get the funding for the parade, they have to.
Santa won't show up unless it's funded.
They have to get the first place in the scavenger hunt, and she's desperate because she's lost her teammate who is going to be her maybe her companion for the scavenger hunt was going to be maybe her friend who ended up going into labor, having a baby. So she's desperate. She needs a companion for the scavenger hunt. She runs into your character at the eggnog, getting the eggnog, and you're like, well, hey, I'm available.
I'm free, as it just so happens, and I'm fantastic at scavenger hunts because I've witnessed one before. So let's do it. Yep. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that would work.
That would be.
Are you a writer, Rachel? I don't know.
I have dreams and aspirations of writing, but I have yet to actually successfully write something. But I love coming up with pitches. I love it. So
that's a good idea. I like that a lot, though.
Yeah. So they would have different clues all over the city to they could have one of the clues be at a homeless shelter where they have to help give out Toys for Tots kind of a thing. They have another clue be of course at the department store. Maybe they have to be a bell ringer, Santa bell ringer. That could be one of the clues.
Good. Yeah, I like that. And you know what? My dad can play the Santa Claus because
oh my God.
he used to drive the tractor for the Christmas parades in Ottawa for every year he'd do that. So I'm thinking, here's a role that my dad could play. I like that.
It would be the best. And then it could all culminate in the Christmas parade and where you announce that you're in love and you're going down the parade. You're going down the parade and you kiss and everything's great and Logan is redeemed. It would be amazing.
That sounds perfect. Let's write it. Let's get it done. Let's get it out there. I'm totally down. I'm totally down.
Yeah. I love it. That's probably one of my better ideas. So
that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
That would be
get it done before someone else,
I know.
snatches your idea.
People are going to listen to this podcast and then
they're going to be like, oh, Rachel's got a really good one there. That's right there. So, yeah, I like it.
Because you could also have go up to the top of a building. It would be fun because it would be we don't have that many city stories because usually that's bad
small towns, right? Mm-hmm. It's usually the small town kind of Christmas story. So this is the big city version. I like it. What movie kind of reminds me a bit of this is not that there's any correlation to it whatsoever. Adventures in Babysitting, where they're
yes,
they're
that's very
climbing these huge buildings in downtown New York, and it's still kind of got that Christmas Christmassy vibe to it. So
Yeah. Well, it also kind of reminds me of something like, it could be, if it was a little bit funny, it could be something kind of a feel of like Big Fat Liar. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen that one where
that
there's
was
all
Jimmy
these.
I'm trying to remember that one.
I love it. I think it's so funny.
Who's in that, and what's that one about?
It's got Paul Giamatti as this evil man of business, this horrible producer Marty Wolf, and they and then it's got Amanda Bynes and Frankie Muniz. Yeah.
Side note: Paul Giamatti's mother is from Montreal. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He's half Canadian.
But it's really it's a very ridiculous movie, but it's really funny, and it's got Lee Majors as this like bitter stuntman, and Donald Faison is this limo driver.
Didn't Frankie Muniz? What happened to that guy? Didn't he like become a race car driver or something?
Well, honestly, I think I could be wrong about this, but I think that he like got married and just kind of, because he'd worked as a kid and stuff, and so he just, I don't think he does a whole lot of projects anymore, but
no, I think he retired from acting.
Yeah, he basically retired, and
which isn't surprising for many child actors, because they've a lot of them gone through the ringer and have done so much that they're like, you know what, I've done enough acting for my lifetime. I think I can retire at the age of 25. So
I mean, I would just live on residuals and like do whatever you want, and that would
sounds good.
Sounds good to me. I can write my
Malcolm in the Middle. God, yeah, that was a big show back in the day. Well, Mr. Breaking Bad himself. I mean,
it's true. You forget that he's the Bryan Cranston's comedic actor originally.
Right. You know what I love is watching like a big Hollywood actor and just seeing a rerun of one of the older TV shows or movies that they've done, and you're watching going, oh my God, that's that guy. But when you're watching it back then, you don't know at all who this person is. And so when I was watching the rerun of Seinfeld where he's playing the doctor,
the dentist,
or he's playing the dentist, but he's not a doctor because he didn't go to med school. But I was like, wow, this guy really is funny. Like that's pretty damn good. So
you're
good for you, Bryan Cranston.
Anti-dentite.
Anti-dentite. That's it. Yeah.
It's really good. Well, we like to end our interviews with some silly questions. So this is the holiday version. So,
all right.
Okay.
PG.
What is your favorite holiday drink?
Favorite holiday drink? Oh, I'd have to say, so I mentioned it earlier. It's with some cocoa, cinnamon, and just hot cider. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Cider. Yeah.
Okay. What is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Oh, that's my mom's home-baked star cookies.
Oh.
Yeah, wow. She makes these with just some nutmeg, and she has these like molds out of the shapes of stars, and she makes them every season, and they're to die for. They're really, really good.
Great. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay, what's your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Favorite Christmas song. I've been singing this recently, and I don't know why. Probably because of one of the Raptors' name is Hollis Jefferson, and I'm like, it's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. I don't know if you remember that song from Run DMC from like the late 80s.
Right.
Die Hard. Love that song.
Yeah.
Can't get tired of that one.
Well, maybe.
But I like the classics too. Like, I like a lot of French songs too, and I've been teaching. I have a 4-year-old, so I'm trying to teach him to, sing some French songs. So there's Petit Papa Noël, and there's which is kind of like Little Drummer Boy, but it's in French, so it's different lyrics. And Vive le Vent, which is Jingle Bells. So it's like, you're celebrating the wind instead of the bells. So that's probably my favorite one.
Yeah,
well, I won't sing it. Don't worry, I won't put you through the actual song. But you can YouTube it, Vive le Vent, and you can sing along to it because it's the jingle from Jingle Bells. So,
that sounds cute.
Nice
maybe
song.
We can involve your speaking French in your.
Pardon me?
Maybe we can involve your speaking French in our fake movie that we just invented. That'd Logan speaks French, and somehow that could be involved in the scavenger hunt of some way.
Logan. Yeah.
Yes.
Logan. It's not Logan.
Because that's such an attractive quality. I mean, French is the language of love. I mean,
it is. I know. It's perfect for a Christmas movie. So
That would be very
We can
good.
totally do that. I'd like to do that. I like to work in French as much as I can.
Yeah.
And here in Toronto, you're kind of limited to the work because it's mostly out of Ottawa and Montreal. So make it happen.
Right. Yeah.
I'm on board.
Okay. Do you have a favorite holiday tradition, like decorating the tree or anything that you always do every year?
Yeah, I mean, we do the decorating of the tree every year, and I guess the star on top is always me who does it, and I've always done it since I was a kid. So that to me is kind of sounds so cheesy and corny, but it's a special moment, and it's a heartfelt, heartwarming moment to put because it's the final step of the decorations. It's the star. So yeah, that's probably my favorite moment.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah. That and watching The Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Nice. Well, yeah, I actually skipped over. So would you say that's your favorite Christmas movie?
No, actually,
Or is Die Hard?
Well, Die Hard's it's up there. It's in the top 3 maybe, but my favorite Christmas movie's got to be. I want to make sure I get the title right, but it's I think it's called Once Upon a Christmas. I don't know if that rings any bells.
I think it sounds familiar.
But it has a lot of Christmas Scavenger Hunt vibes in the sense that it's like a small town, and it's basically the story of this little girl whose mom has given up, and she's given up on Christmas because they're just in dire straits and they're poor. So she's basically tasked, and she's made it up.
Yes.
She's decided to go to the North Pole and find Santa Claus to get her mom to believe in Christmas again. So I know it sounds kind of a little hokey and cheesy, but it's really, really heartfelt.
That's a Hallmark movie. Early, before there was even Hallmark Channel.
This is even pre-Hallmark. I mean, this was like in the mid 80s, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe Hallmark made films back then. I don't know. I should probably know this. But it was shot in and around Ontario, so it had this real like Canadiana vibe to it. The snow and there's hockey and it was a really good one.
Good choice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have a memorable Christmas gift? Like, do you have your Red Ryder BB gun kind of moment when you were a kid? The gift that you wanted?
Oh boy, favorite gift. I remember getting a snowboard one year, and I was really elated. I was so happy because I just started snowboarding, and I'd had to rent my boards every time I'd go out there. So I was pretty happy for that one, for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Which do you pick, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Oh, as far as
just the favorite character. Which one do you
favorite character? Okay. Probably the Grinch. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I'm kind of a kid at heart, and I was raised on the Grinch.
Yeah.
Even though obviously Scrooge is fun too. But if you're comparing to Scrooge from Mickey's Christmas Carol, maybe I'd have to lean towards that Scrooge, that Ebenezer.
Yeah, that's a good one. One of my favorites.
What about you?
I would definitely say Scrooge, although I do love the Grinch as well.
Humbug.
I love the story of Christmas Carol. I'm kind of obsessed with it. So,
I'm super stoked for the new one coming out.
Yeah, that one on FX that they're doing.
Is it FX?
Circus. I think it's going to air on FX here, or I think the BBC made it though. But that one with Andy Serkis in it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. It looks.
Yeah, the trailer looks fantastic for that one. So
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that one for sure.
Me too. So clear lights are colored.
Oh, colored.
Good. Okay.
But it depends. See, I'm so torn. So I'm a Scorpio, so I'm kind of always kind of on the fence with a lot of things. So if it's outside lights, I'd go with white. But if it's indoor, I'll go with the color on the tree.
Cool. Good.
Yeah. Okay. Or just, mix it up. Both. Can I say both?
Sure.
Is that
sure, you can say both. Okay. Would you rather do a snowball fight or build a snowman?
Oh, snowball fight for sure.
Okay, good.
Less labor intensive.
Would you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
No. I always defer the wrapping to my mom. So Not always, but
Okay,
you can tell which gifts are wrapped by me from like the excess Scotch tape that's used.
Yeah, same
So
with me.
yeah, I'm not the best
Uh,
rapper, unfortunately.
all right, last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
Oh, jeez. Not really, no. I mean, I have a lot of like comfy winter sweaters, but no, like, no. I should get one though. I'd like
Yeah.
to get one, with like a snowman or a Christmas
Yeah.
tree on it. Something knitted, hand knitted, I guess is a prerequisite, right? For ugly
I don't think it has to
Christmas
be
sweaters.
hand knitted, but
No.
it needs to be like a legit ugly Christmas sweater as opposed to these ones that are manufactured to be ugly
Right.
Christmas sweaters. Like those
Yeah.
aren't as good as the
You can't
true-
have bought it at H&M and claim it to
Yes.
be an ugly Christmas
That's right.
sweater.
That's
It
right.
needs to be from like Value Village, Salvation Army, something
Yeah.
retro, right?
Something with a bedazzler being involved.
Oh yes, definitely. It's gotta have a bedazzler. Bedazzler is a must.
Yeah, the home bedazzler is probably, you don't need to have the hand knit, but
No.
the
You can just-
bedazzling by hand is probably preferred.
You can even retrofit any of your old sweaters
Yeah.
and turn it into an ugly Christmas sweater with a bedazzler.
It's true. I can't remember what movie. I've already seen like 30 Christmas movies this year. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
But one of the ones that I saw, they had like a whole ugly Christmas sweater station where people could like put horrible bows and.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
I want to do that. I want to get one of those.
That could be a stage in the scavenger hunt.
That should be.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. So it's in the city.
Idea.
So there's a station for Christmas sweaters with a bedazzler. I like it. I'm writing it down right now.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes, Rach. I'm taking notes.
Yes. As long as you give me credit, then
go
right away.
You'll get your writing credit. Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
This is so exciting.
Yep.
So,
like it.
well, very good. You passed the test. We want to.
Nice.
You can keep making movies. So, well, this was really fun. I really enjoyed talking with you and doing our little brainstorming session. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. And I can't, that favorite Christmas movie, I'm still searching it, but once I find it, I will email it to you.
Okay.
So I know you've seen a lot of Christmas movies this year, but if you add one more to the list, it's this one from, I think, 1985. So I will email you directly the title so you can watch.
Because there's a Once Upon a Christmas that was an early Hallmark movie that has Kathy Ireland in it, but that might be a remake or something like that of the one, because that's from like 2000. So I wonder if it's a remake of the one that you're talking about. But
there's a lot of Once Upon a Christmas movies, eh?
Yeah.
It's not, I'm probably getting the title wrong, but no, it's not that one. Yeah. It's with Mary Sturgeon. Am I pronouncing that right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, let us know, because that sounds really good.
I will definitely let you know.
Okay, cool. Well, do you have social media or anything like that you want to share?
Yeah, so anyone can find me if they choose on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram as well. I'm on the gram.
Okay,
I do technically have Twitter, although I very seldomly log onto it because I figure 2 social media accounts is more than enough. So
yeah,
but yeah,
cool.
So anyone can find me there.
All right, well, we will put all that information in the description section, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Great.
Don't get left at the airport.
Right, exactly. I'll make it not to. And I'll visit my sister too.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right, Rachel. It was nice chatting with you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. We'd like to thank Jon for coming on the podcast. This was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed just trying to do something, I think, a little bit different in this interview with our little brainstorming session. And so let us know what you think of our idea of what we came up with for Christmas Scavenger Hunt 2, and maybe what you would add to it or change around. And have you ever been left at the airport? Let us know in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to talk about it. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media, and on iTunes and YouTube. We so appreciate any ratings and reviews we get from iTunes. And if you're listening on YouTube, if you give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, we sure appreciate that as well. And please follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. I would love to have your support in that. please consider becoming a patron of the podcast. We so appreciate. We try to give exclusives and other giveaways and benefits to becoming a patron. All the information is in the description below. And we also have our holiday merch on our merch store that you definitely want to check out, with designs by artist Jessica Miller, and they are so cute. So check it out. And thanks so much to Jon, and thanks so much, you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Merry Christmas.